All right. Is this thing on? I believe we on. All right. Let's get into it. No drunk drivers. This video, I want to give my take on. First off, man, your boy was under the weather, man. They said they had some type of bug or something going around. Oh yeah, man. Woo! I hate them fevers, them chills, and all that good stuff. But no, I'm back. I bounced back. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, man, they had your boy down for a little bit. Like I said, I'm back. But let's get into what I want to speak about. I think I did make a video maybe about 2 weeks ago pertaining to I want to say it's being labeled as a terrorist attack on U.S. soil. They had one in New Orleans and they had one in also Las Vegas. And the gentlemen' names are, took me a while to find the first one, Matthew Allen Livelsberger, and that's the one in Las Vegas, and Shamsud-Din Jabbar. That's the one in New Orleans that most of you all know about. I'm not here to go over the details of each incident. I believe you all are already aware of that. But the thing I do want to address, and this is not to try to attempt to humanize those and do not condone it. The thing that I I don't want to say concerned, but really caught my attention was how the narrative behind it was I kept seeing this right here. Y'all see this? U.S. Army veteran, right? Hopefully, y'all see that. Yeah, U.S. Army veteran. And that's all I kept seeing throughout the news. And that bothered me. It bothered me a lot. So, what I'm going to do is attempt to convey a perspective on how America, the I don't know if you want to say the government, maybe it's policies or politicians, how they failed you all and us, the U.S. Army veterans, or just veterans as a whole. Like I said before, this happened on U.S. soil. And I'm prefacing my comments on that because those guys, those individuals, they were trained here in America for one, right? So that's the narrative that the news people they keep running with, which okay, they were in the military, but it's the way it's being depicted as if the military is part of the reason why they acted out in such a way. So let me get to the starting point because everything has a starting point. Like I said, my condolences to anybody who may have been affected by this senseless tragedies. But like I said, I'm going to get to the starting point and why it bothered me, and why I'm going to also explain on how America failed us. When I say us, the veterans, and also the citizens of this country. And I'll just give you my experience as an Army veteran. So, for those who do not know, I joined the military, the Army, in 1999, right after high school. I joined primarily to fund my college aspirations, right? And also to travel the world, and also I want to be like my older relatives, my older brother, my uncles, my cousins have a long line of history of veterans that are in my family. So that's the main reason why I joined. And I also wanted to take some of the load off my parents, right? So I wanted to pave my own way. I didn't have to join, uh, but I chose to join. My mother was a registered nurse. She got her bachelor's of science in nursing. So I didn't have to join. I wanted to join. All right. And so let's well, I don't want to give you the whole entirety. So I'm trying to try to summarize this thing up and how it brings us back to how I believe America failed you all and us, the veterans. Throughout boot camp, right? So you join up, you have no idea what you're signing up for. You're signing up, you just see, hey, you see the commercials. Um, if you're fortunate enough to have some insight or somebody that previously joined, you get some insight on what to expect. But you still, even though you may pick someone's brain, there's still an element of surprise when your first experiences, right? And I remember 2 weeks in the military, almost to the exact date of almost 2 weeks. I knew, oh yeah, I knew I messed up. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I wanted to get out. I was trying to get out too. I thought about going AWOL. That means absent without leave, right? I wanted to leave. But as soon as you join up, the military makes it very clear that if you are to quit, leave, or absent without leave, or just straight up leave the premises, you will be dishonorably discharged, and you will not be able to, or it'll be very difficult for you to gain employment. So it's going to stay on your record. And they made that very clear early on. And that's used as a deterrent, right? For you to stay in. And so fast forward, you go through your training, right? Your training is rigorous. There's something that there's nothing on the outside world that could really prepare you for the type of training that we are faced or have to endure. It's very taxing on the body. It's very taxing mentally, um, and it's something that not everybody's built for. Not everybody's cut from that cloth to be a soldier or a veteran, or in the military per se. How do you even know that you are able to do it? You don't know. You just put yourself in the fire and you wish for the best results. And so fast forward for however long that you sign up for, you begin counting off the days. I signed up for 4 years. Mind you, 2 weeks in, I was ready to get out. So each day that went by, I'm just counting the days. Man, I want to get out. I want to get out. I want to get out. But I couldn't leave because they already told me, hey, man, if you leave, it's going to be on your record. You're not going to be able to get a job. Nobody's going to hire you. You're going to get shunned. Um, and you can also go to what they call, what is it, Fort Leavenworth or military jail if you get caught. So you're kind of like just being on the run, right? So I figured it wasn't worth it. Even though I do know people who did go AWOL, allegedly, because I don't want the military coming after me, right? So these are all stories. Don't be coming after me wanting to question fools that went AWOL, thinking I know anything about their whereabouts or something like that. Fast forward, on your way out of the military, mind you, you're doing all this strenuous training. It's very, very taxing on the body and also on the mind. So when you decide to get out, let's say you make it, you do your time. Mine was 4 years. There's supposed to be some type of transitioning that takes place to where they help you integrate back into regular society as a citizen, no longer being a soldier. And even though on paper they do have that program, I forgot what it's called. I forgot the name of it. I don't want to mess it up. I wish I would have took notes. I'm just going off the dome on what I'm talking about. But there is supposed to be a program that helps you transition from being a soldier back into regular life. Just like with anything else in this country, it's all show, but when it comes down to it, it's utilized to, protect themselves from possible lawsuits, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just for show, meaning, and I could be wrong, but the I could talk to some of my army buddies that little program that they give or that's supposed to be designed to help you transition back into society. It's ineffective. Let's just say that. I don't even remember having been through that course. I'm serious. I really don't. Maybe there was a class, maybe one class, right, that was offered, or just throughout my out processing that I attended, but I can't even remember that. And so you get out of the military, and once you're out of the military, if you're fortunate enough to have something that's relatable to civilian life, like your job. So your job is your MOS. Mine was 31 Romeo, which was telecommunications. Not every man, I really couldn't even find anything in the civilian world that was relatable to that. Some people are fortunate enough to have jobs that is relatable to the outside world so that when you do get out, you're able to find employment, right? And it actually helps with your transition from being a soldier back into the civilian world. So when you get out, you're supposed to have all your benefits, right? Mine was college, and then you have your medical. So those are your main ones, and you have your GI Bill with the housing, your veterans loans, and things like that. I remember every time that I attempted to access my benefits that I earned, right, there was always a mountain of paperwork to fill out. You would think that all I had to do was show proof that, hey, I did my time, give me my stuff. However you want to say, I did my time. I'm showing you proof with my DD 214, right? That's the paper that most veterans know about. This is what you must have and show to prove that you actually served in the military. You would think that that's all you have to show is proof of service. But no, just like with everything else in this country, it's all for show. Everything is for show. Um, because when you get down to it, that's when you start seeing how the games and tricks that are played to where it's almost, I don't know, man. It's almost like they kind of deter you from even actually being able to obtain the things that you worked hard for, the things that you were promised to, when you serve your time. This goes into college, right? Medical. I'm gonna speak on all of that, and I'm going to relate it back to what the initial topic was on how America failed you all, us, everyone, due to these, and you see the results with these tragic events. And so I remember when I got out and when I tried to seek employment, right? Because I didn't have a job. I did my 4 years, and hey, it's time to earn money. Fortunately, I was able to access my college GI Bill, right? But I had to go through mountains and mountains of paperwork. And each semester, I had to submit the same paperwork. Each semester, not just one time. Each semester, I had to submit the same paperwork, proving that I was in the military, proving this and this. There's a whole stack of things. Even though let's just say I go through one semester, you would think that's it. All right, I'm the same person. I didn't change. I'm not a chameleon. I can't change my face and my name and all these things, right? My social security number is the same person. But each semester, I had to submit the same paperwork. And it was hell. It was hard. It was very difficult submitting that paperwork because you remember, there's no classes on these things. And so you speak to a liaison with the college, and each semester they always change it up. Oh, now you got to submit this. Now you have to submit this. So each semester is very stressful because I did not know whether I was going to receive my benefits or not. At that point, that was like my primary source of income. Um, in order for me to go to school full time, that allowed me to go to school full time. I'm not asking for any type of handout. This was all earned. Yet I'm being put through the ringer. This is what everybody that most people that I know, they're being put through the same ringer, right? So these are the stressors that go along with being a veteran. And so the time kind of expired as far as the amount of time that I was used or given to complete my degree program. And I remember once that date hit, your benefits stop. So that means you don't get any money. And like I said, that was my primary source of income. They was giving me money to pay my tuition. I used that for my books, all of these things, and that was my primary reason for joining the military was for my college fees, right? So when that time came to it ran its course. I remember thinking, all right, I have to get out and get a real job now, right? And I did not complete my degree program at that point. I think I was like 75% done. That's to my fault because a lot of partying and stuff that I did. Mind you, I'm what, 22, 23 years old, right? So of course, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not at fault on some of these things. And I went to, I believe it was called the Veterans Affairs or no Workforce Solutions, the one that was in the area, excuse me, that I was in, Workforce Solutions, right? In there to find employment, and there's a website, so you fill out your information, and then you upload, I guess, your resume or your qualifications, and you try to apply for these jobs, right? And so you being a veteran, you click that tab. I'm thinking, hey, I'm a veteran because this is all I hear with these so-called patriots out here. Every time there's a political campaign, they hide behind the American flag. They always say how great the soldiers are and how much we love our soldiers and how much we do this for our soldiers and all this stuff for our soldiers, right? This is what's being touted out here. I'm telling you the real deal on what go on how this country really supports its soldiers. Um, I remember filling out the website, right? Click on the thing. Hey, veteran. Oh yeah, I'm finna get up in there. I'm in there like swimwear. So I fill out and I attempt to apply to these jobs, but for some reason it's not letting me. It looks like I'm qualified. I see this, college education and former military. All right, but it's just not letting me select it. So now I go back up to Workforce Solutions, right? Try to find employment. thinking it should be a shoe-in because, hey, I'm a veteran. I earned this, right? And these are the things that they told me I wouldn't have a problem with if you join up. I go over there and I get assistance from the Army liaison or the veteran liaison. They have these fancy titles. Just like how it was during my college experience, I ran into some more hurdles. And I told them the situation that I'm not able to apply to this. Not the website is not allowing me to apply for these jobs. These are jobs that I felt that I was qualified for. So they go, well, you got to have this specific degree or you have to have this specific training. And so the person began to explain to me why I guess you can say I was not qualified. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, okay, I'm like, well, I need employment. I'm looking for work. Is there anything that you can do to assist in this? Maybe, this person knows how to navigate the system. Plug me in on some type of job to where, hey, I can get some funds, some money in my pocket. And this, I would go back, I would frequent this place. I believe this lasted for about 2 weeks, right? Because lines were always long and yeah, it took maybe about 2 weeks. So finally, it got to the point. All right, everything was filled out right, and I'm going through what the liaison is instructing me to do. And after all of that time, they come up with this. They say, okay, we're able to find you some work now, Mr. Joseph. You got all this filled out. All of your paperwork and everything has been submitted. You're an Army veteran. You got college. Didn't at the time I did not have my completed degree, but I did have about 70% done. Right? Should be that should account for something. And so they're looking through their system, they're click clacking, and okay, yeah, we found something. Here goes some matches. And they were like, okay, we can be a dishwasher. Now, this is no disrespect to some of these titles that I'm about to tell you all. This is not to be disrespectful. It's just that I did not join the military and get out to become a dishwasher. So they were telling me some of the jobs, and I remember I think that was one of the jobs that they told me, and then the other one was it was either Burger King or McDonald's. Now, I think yeah. So I kept coming back. Within that two weeks, because jobs would spontaneously or randomly pop up, right? Due to the amount of openings. So after about 2 weeks, I kept getting the same hits. Dishwasher or working at McDonald's or Burger King. I specifically remember is either McDonald's or Burger King. And so after around that 2 week time, I remember getting frustrated. I told the individual, I say, come on now. They're like, what do you mean? Are you trying to work? I said, yes, I am trying to work, but hear me out. I did not join the military so that I can go work for McDonald's. Respectfully. Well, are you saying you're too good for that? So this is the liaison. This is what they're telling me. I say, no, I'm not saying I'm too good for it, but I mean, I do have college. I have college and I'm a veteran. It must account for something, right? Because in my head, this country loves its veterans. They take care of their veterans. This is what's being paraded out there on these political campaigns and all these politicians. Whether you are a repugnant or a Democrat, because I don't rock with either. Because they both do the same thing, and I believe they're in the bed with each other. And I said it right. Repugnant, go look it up, or Democrat. I think you kind of know what that one is, right? This is all I've always heard. I've always hearing it. And I see the patriots, right? The so-called patriots, They're stamping the flag. They putting the flag up. They got the flag in their trucks and doing all this stuff. You say anything about America, they on your helmet. They ready to get at you. These patriots, right? They so love their country and their veterans. Here I am. Can't even get a damn job. And this is the story. This is my story, but I guarantee you talk to other veterans, it's very similar. And so, I could get a job, but yeah, it's gonna have to be McDonald's or Burger King. One or the other. Take your pick. And so we had some words. And I remember leaving discouraged. And I'm like, wow, this is the best they can do. Now, when I was being recruited, they told me about all the advantages that I was going to get. Well, I'm cashing in, and this is what I can get right here. McDonald's and Burger King, right? Luckily, one of my homeboys, he got on at this other place because he had the same experience, right? I wish I can have him on and tell you it, but he had the same experience. So I ended up getting on where he worked at, right? And the rest is history. So even before that, I would say, and here goes another thing I want to share you all. The VA hospitals and clinics. Go look up Michael E. DeBakey, condemned, or the VA Veterans Hospital being condemned. This is another benefit from your veterans, right? Because the Americans, they sure love their veterans and they take care of their veterans. We get free medical. And while I was going there to access my free medical, right? I found that I had to travel way to Houston. So where I was staying at that time, traveling to Houston was like 45 minutes away. And that's the Michael E. DeBakey Hospital. But you have VA clinics throughout. Maybe this has gotten better because the stuff that I'm about to date is around like mid 2000 ish time frame, maybe around 2006, 2000. But if you look at, I remember going to the VA clinics and you're wanting to get your annual physical or whatever you're trying to do. Most of the time, with me, it was just my annual physical. And you would book an appointment, and about 3 months later, if you were lucky, you were able to be seen. 3 months. Yeah. Mind you, veterans, we're supposed to have free health care, right? We just walk in, hey, hey, I'm a veteran, hook you boy up. That's what I thought. And then when I got out, you got to go to these VA clinics. Oh, so I can't just walk into a regular hospital and get seen. No, you have to go to the VA clinics. And so when I tried to sign up, like I said, it took about 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 months. And they would tell you how they were extremely understaffed and backed up. But America take care of its veterans. So I've been told. They use veterans on their political campaigns. And so I found out really the only way I can be seen is driving way up to Houston to the Michael E. DeBakey Hospital. And I remember there was an article that came out. There was some major revamping that took place. Like some of these VA clinics and also hospitals, they were either about to get shut down or they did get shut down. You can look up the articles, or they got condemned, right? Condemned. And I'm not going to lie, when I did go to Michael E. DeBakey, the conditions were not good. I seen a lot of people. I remember being in waiting rooms. It's like, they had us in there and it's crowded. And I can recall I'm always sitting by some elderly person who they were missing their limbs. And it's like people in bad conditions. And when my number would get called, right? because it would be a whole day just for just annual physical, right? Thankfully, I've always been in pretty damn good health. I would get called in, and I remember the staff would do it. So, what are you here for? Oh, yeah, I'm here for my annual physical. How old are you? I tell them at the time I'm probably about 26, 25. And they're like, so your job doesn't have insurance? I say, yeah, but I want to use this, because it's free. This is my benefit. Well, I'm not trying to tell you. I can't tell you what to do. This is the staff. This is the medical staff I'm talking to, like nurses, doctors, whatever. They're saying, as you can see, we're under. I'm gonna be straight up with you. We're understaffed, and you can look around. We're severely understaffed. And my advice to you, young man, is to go through your insurance so you can get adequate care because we're working with limited fundings over here. I'm just being honest with you. And this is somebody in the medical field. This is not to talk about them in a negative way. They were giving me their honest opinion. Yeah, this is the medical staff, right? This is the country that take care of veterans. And they telling me basically, hey, you best go somewhere else and pay that little bit. Don't come here. Don't bring your black ass over here no more. And it was very sad going up there. I seen a lot of the conditions were deplorable, and the people that just seeing them walk around, I was like, oh man, I don't need to be here. I seen it. And so when I say that America and the politicians and the system that we have, it failed the veterans and it failed you all. Oh, before I move on to that point, you want to know what job that was always kept popping up that I could have obtained? It just kept on. They kept wanting to shoe me in here, right? They kept wanting me to shoe me in here, and this is one of the main points I want to talk to about was being a police officer. Oh, I was a shoe in for a police officer. But I said, nah, I'm through with putting my life on the line. I've done that for 4 years. I don't want to do that to earn my money, right? Plus, I didn't like the stigma of it. So I avoided that. But they kept trying to shoe me in to be a police officer. So when I say America has failed its veterans and its people, the conditions of being or the stipulations into being a soldier or a Marine or somebody in the Navy, a seaman, Air Force, it is very stressful, right? And the way they have it is once you sign up, they're going to make it very difficult for you to get out, even if you feel like you made a mistake. Hey, man, you shouldn't have signed up. A lot of times we were tricked into this thing, or we're feel like, hey, this is our only way to get out and to make it out of our city, right? So it's not like we're signing up through, hey, we're patriots and all this other crap. And the amount of time that you're in there, mentally, you're going through a lot of things. Physically and mentally is very, very, very stressful. Not everybody's built to handle or endure those types of stressors. And so they dump these people out into society. And it's like you go through this physical and mental training. And then after they're done with you, you're discarded out into society, right? You have no type of counseling or no type of therapy to kind of work out some of those things that you may have adhered to while you were in the military. And so once you're out, you're looked upon, okay, it's almost like you're leaving a gang. So it's like, hey, since you're leaving our gang, we're not going to help you anymore. And they dump these people back into society. Throw it off in the head. You didn't train them how to shoot. You didn't train them how to kill. You didn't train them to do everything. And now you dump their ass back out in society. And I just told you some of the things that I went through and how difficult it was for me to get started again. Mind you, you're 4 years behind your peers because some of them went straight to college, right? So there's always that going on. You're trying to play catch up. I did 4 years, but what do I have to show for it? I got a hat. I got this DD 214. But when it comes down to like certain finances or financial advantages, there's not much, right? So you have that going on. So you have this stuff, the mental stuff that you while you were in the service, right? And the country itself, they do nothing to try to get these people the type of assistance that they need so that they can be a productive citizen while after they get out. So what they do is they dump them out, and the politicians know this, and they cut ties, they cut funding, they do all this stuff against the veterans. They don't do anything for the veterans. They run their mouth and they use veterans as a puppet or some type of mascot every time during their political campaign. And you punk ass patriots, y'all use veterans too, claiming that you love this country and doing all this shit for the flag, but you don't give a shit about no veteran. You don't give a shit about nothing else. You use that for your bullshit ass narratives. And I'm calling you out on your bullshit because you so-called patriots, every time you run into somebody like me, the first thing you do is start making excuses of why you did not take your ass and you did not join and join the military. Every time. It never fails. We start chopping it up on the job. And I start running down my accolades. Oh, yeah, man. You know what? I was going to sign up. But I got an old shoulder injury. Oh, man, I was going to sign up, but I'm flat foot. They come up with all these damn excuses instead of just saying it what it really is. You too scared. You got too much bitch in your blood. That's why you didn't sign up. But you only use that for your bullshit ass talking points. Same thing with you politicians. Y'all say all that shit. How proud you are to be an American, all this other shit, and you saying this shit behind the flag and all this other bullshit. I'm calling it bullshit because I know bullshit when I smell bullshit. I see it. I smell it from a mile away. You don't give two shits about no damn veteran. Right? That's why you see a lot of the homeless people that got on this camouflage gear. That's probably gear from when they served. Right? You didn't do shit for the people that was in Vietnam and all this other stuff. You didn't do nothing. People came back from war all fucked up, and y'all didn't do shit. Y'all still don't do shit. All you do is lie. Lie. Your repugnants and your Democrats. That's all y'all do is lie. So you dump these people back into society, and then you try to make these fools be in a police force. That's why they be having all these killings and shit. I don't want to say that's the main reason, but I know that's a part. I don't know how much or the percentage wise. I wish I did the research on that, but I would love to know how many veterans are in the police force and how fucked up mentally they are too. Those people shouldn't be walking around and policing individuals after they've been trained and killed. That's why they act in that manner. You see, they be acting all crazy and shit. Oh, fear for my life. You can be having a regular, interaction with them, and they jumpy. Yeah, they messed up in the head. Not everybody's meant to be a veteran, and not everybody's meant to be a damn police officer. But they make the requirements to where, hey, we just need a body. And that's how messed up it is. And the politicians and all these people, they got the numbers on that. They got the numbers to all that shit. So when I see punk ass motherfuckers like, I know, right? Here we go. Let me stop cursing. I'm trying. But when I see these punk ass politicians, right? And they do all this clamoring, pull yourself up by the bootstrap type mofos. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You fake. Y'all are fraud. They don't do shit. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it a stack. So when they let these people out in society and they start doing this shit that you just saw happen on New Year's, it does not surprise me. But that's not indicative to all veterans, right? But I'm showing you where it start at. They're putting it as, oh, these are former veterans. These are former veterans. They're trained to kill. They did this, and they turned on their country. No, the country turned their backs on the veterans. That does not give. I'm not condoning what those gentlemen did, but what I am going to say is America knew about individuals like that. They chose not to do anything for those individuals, right? Hence, you see the results. So you discarded these, right? You discard them, and there's a feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, and then shit. You didn't train these fools up. You didn't train them up to do the most, to do the worst. What the hell you think is gonna happen? But you ship all these damn money out to everybody else, misappropriating funds and all this other shit, right? For your political games and shit, and you're stuffing your own pockets. Stuff in your own pockets instead of putting the money back into the country, right? That's where this shit started at. So yeah, you see the results, and that's what I want to end with. That's where it started at. It started in this country, and it ended in this country, but it started in this country. The bullshit ass politicians, they need to be held accountable. They've always been full of shit, and they need stuff that's going to work on a practical level. I don't care if they got a program out right now. If the shit ain't working, then it ain't working, right? Just like I always say, I don't want to hear about what you got if the shit ain't working. When I lock my door, I want my door to stay locked to keep the bad guys out, right? So if the bad guys can get in my damn door and I have the door locked, that means I need to replace my damn locks because the locks I got right now is not working. I don't give a damn how it's supposed to look, what you're telling me what it's supposed to do. You need to operate it this way. No, man, the shit ain't working real time, real life. If it don't work real time, real life, the shit needs to get replaced. It's as simple as that. But yet they got everybody feuding amongst one another and all this other stuff when the true enemy is the messenger. The leaders of the repugnance, the leaders of the Democrats, right? And the system as a whole. And I see it all across America. It's full of shit. Most of those people are full of shit. Most of the shit we offer is full of shit. This is why you get shitty ass customer service. Everything is built off of deception. Everything. Look at it. Go. Just really pay attention. Every time you will rarely find something that matches what it's being advertised as. You will rarely find something that matches what it's being advertised as. And that's how this country is ran. Think about it. Every time you sign up for something or you buy something, you see this big ass scroll, right? You see this big ass scroll, and they use this, they call it terms and conditions or terms of acceptance and all this other bullshit in order to even purchase or even use a product. Look at that. They do that so when they get caught up in the bullshit, you can't sue them. That's how most of the products in this country, that's how it's being delivered to you. Because it's full of deception. Everything is full of deceptions. So when you get people who fed up, yeah, they're gonna act out stupid like that. And you're gonna see these stupid ass attacks. You're probably gonna see more of those. Right? But don't come trying to tag this shit on veterans. Yeah, you see how they turn their back on you veterans? You see how they do that shit? The whole time. You didn't say nothing about, before they were veterans, they were probably Christian, right? You ain't talking about that. What school do they go to? Huh? What city were they born in? Huh? Yeah. What else did they subscribe to that the common man or woman subscribes to? Oh, you ain't talking about that shit though, right? I bet you they was Christian. They're probably Catholic. You know, they talk about the one. Oh, well, no, Brian. He was Muslim. Well, what he was before that? Because it looked like he was in Texas, right? Up in the Bible Belt. Don't come telling me he started off as no damn Muslim. He probably changed his name to that shit. And what about the other one? Matthew Allen Livensberger, right? That's the white man that you don't hear about, right? Because he did some bullshit too, but you don't see about him. What was his shit, right? Was he Muslim too? Huh? What did he start off as? I bet you he didn't start off as no damn Muslim. What school did he go to? What did he subscribe to? What were his parents into? Right? All this bullshit is being taught within the country. It's within the country. That's where all this shit start. All the bullshit start within the country. And with these politicians or whatever, I'll end on this note. And this is why I say there's probably going to be more. I don't want to use this phrase. I don't want to take it out of term. I'll just put it to you like this. Hopefully you can understand, because I know everybody's not into comic books or movies or something like that. But they say that the Batman created the Joker. And let me explain. When you appear and you come across as someone who's unbeatable, you feel like you have to throw everything and the kitchen sink in order to defeat that opponent. So you got to be mindful when you're getting these victories or whatever group that you're a part of. If you come across as being super strong, then the enemy or your opposition is noticing that. And so when you appear and come across to being super strong, they're not going the opposite is going to try to match what you're doing or super exceed what you're doing in order to thwart you. This is why when big humans, big people, big men, you see them out and they about to get into it. The smaller guy pick up a weapon or pick up a brick and knock the shit out of him, right? Because they're coming across it. Hey, man, I can't get you fair and square. So now I have to pick up and do these dirty tactics in order to level the playing field. Hence, this is why you have this bullshit going on, what you're seeing right now. And that's why I say I don't think it's going to be the end of it, unfortunately. But yeah, and hopefully I did make sense. It was not me trying to make those dirt bags some type of sympathetic figure, because they were the ones who ultimately fucked up, right? But I just really wanted to put it out there that the country failed us, and by it failing us, it failed you all. The regular common folk, man and woman. See why these politicians, they're over here playing these games, and they're setting it off between making the common man or woman dividing and separating us. Bullshit like this occurred, and we're the ones that have to deal with the effects of it. Because the politicians, they're not the ones being harmed. It's us, the common man or woman, who now we have to think twice to go off into these public places. We have to look over our shoulders, right? It's us, the one that's being affected. While they have their talking points, they're safe. They're walking around with protection and security. Off of our dollars, by the way. It's us. We're the ones dealing with the bullshit. But yeah, so hopefully I was able to convey on my thoughts and my take on how this country really deals with veterans, right? And how they really support veterans. It's not like that 100% across the board, but it's not pro-veteran as you may think. You would think that it is pro-veteran, and we would have the advantage in certain areas. We get our little 10% discount on certain stores and things like that, but for the most part, man, the programs that they do have is not sufficient. It's not worth what we signed up for and what we have to endure. It definitely not worth it, right? And it just irks me when I see these politicians. They do the same shit every year or every 4 years or whatever. Anytime they're running for office, they always want to throw out how patriotic they are. And I see these bullshit ass citizens talking about how patriotic they are, but they don't do a motherfucking thing for veterans. They don't do shit for veterans. So shut your punk ass up, because I know you're lying. And I call you out on that, boo. I'm calling you out now. Shit. Yeah, I'm calling you out now. Oh, yeah, I'm back in full force. But once again, this is not me trying to make those guys a sympathetic figure. I do not condone the shit that they did. But what I did not like was how they led off with being a veteran, right? Because they were a part of other groups before they became a veteran, right? And instead of trying to um, make the veteran appear like some crazed, deranged people, how about the politicians or the wealthy people in this country? How about they implement some type of programs, some effective programs? Oh man, well you need to put that on the ballot, man. F you in that damn ballot. It's always talking about put some shit on the ballot. This is what I feel about ballots. If somebody's hungry, do I have to fill out a ballot to get this person some food? Huh? See, you have to think about things like that in its simplest form. If you are in a need of assistance, why the I need to fill out a damn ballot in order to, hey, this can work. You just got to put it on the ballot. Man, if you see people throw it off and messed up, help them out. You got the power to do it, but you see it's messed up, but they choose not to do it. They choosing not to do it and misappropriate these funds. Sending the shit everywhere else, but they don't want to put it back in the country to help these people. Right? They don't want to put it back in to help their own. So once again, my condolences to everybody, anybody that was affected by those dirt bags. But yeah, but they were put the whole story out and all their other affiliations, right? And put this story out about how the country failed them too. Put that part out there too, right? So you want to put the run with the army narrative. Oh yeah, I didn't. I'm on one. I think I'm gonna end on that. I've been going on long enough. Uh, I'm sorry what he said. Hey, what's up, man? I see I got some veterans up in here. Yeah, Operation Shock and Awe Part 2. And he said, we're vets, dude. Cursing is fluent. Yeah, we are, man. It's the truth. It is. I was just trying to work on it. But I'll just close on this. To my veterans out there, let's look out for one another. Yeah, let's look out for one another. Let's continue our brotherhood. And this transcends race and all these other things. This is where I wish I can explain more about this. During my time in service, you know, you're forced to interact with people of all races and ethnicities, and you'll be surprised that we have a lot more in common than what we have different. Some of my great friends were white and Hispanic and Asian, and you know everybody. Man, I can link up with a veteran and we boom, 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 boom. We sharing war stories. We hitting it off. We learn to accept each other for who we are. But yeah, man, let's keep an eye on each other. Uh, be there for your brothers and sisters. You know, you see them going through certain things. Try to, you know, be there for them, guide them, give them some assistance, or try to point them in a direction of some type of therapy or counseling. These are certain things that we can do to kind of alleviate some of the things that we endure, that we share that common background and experience, because you can't the government, or they're going to get their pound of flesh, meaning you don't go through those experiences unscathed. It's going to affect you one way or another. That's just what it is. That's just the truth of the matter. Not saying you're going to come out and be this mass murderer or do some type of evil act, but yeah, it does take its toll, and that's just when life in general. Though you're gonna go through your ups and downs and your stuff like that. But yeah, man, let's be there for one another, and that's what it's going to take to combat these things, and also I hate to sound all kumbaya, but to if you dismiss the talking points of the politicians, it's us, the people, who we can affect each other's day to day action, right? So that basically, it just meaning being respectful to one another, no matter what they look like, no matter what they subscribe to. Just be respectful. There's a lot of people who have different subscriptions than me, but they wouldn't know based off of how I talk to them. I talk to them with respect, and there's some people who, they return the favor, even though we're on two different spectrums. We're still respectful, and that goes a long way. I'm telling you, just simple stuff like that. And these are things that we can do to make this place better. It's just be respectful of one another, right? Let's look out for one another. And if we see something crazy, yeah, it's about that time we may have to start acting, right? We see something suspicious, we can't just sit back and, hey, well, the cops going to do the job. They're there to react. Everything is reactionary. But what's being done to prevent? There's little or nothing being done to prevent. And that's what this is. My whole rant was about. What are we doing to prevent these things from occurring? They can prevent it, but they choosing not to. So I think I've rambled on enough. Hopefully you all have been entertained. Shout out to my veterans in the chat, and hopefully, I want to do more stuff on veterans too, man. I actually want to create this big platform where we can all share our war stories, but because it's very, very, very entertaining, extremely entertaining, the stories that we do have. But I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here, and y'all be safe. And once again, I do not condone any of the things that those individuals did. This is me just trying to point out what the politicians and America itself can do to alleviate these things. But that's it. Till next time. Peace.